They ripped the girl's shirt inside the diner, not knowing her brother was a Hell's Angel. The diner was alive with the gentle clatter of dishes, the low hum of conversation, and the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Sunlight streamed in through the tall windows, casting long golden beams across the checkered floor. Patrons sipped their drinks, laughed softly, and enjoyed the calm morning rhythm. Then came a sharp ripping sound. The little girl's shirt had been torn, leaving her small frame exposed to a room full of strangers. A collective gasp filled the air. Forks froze midair, coffee cups hovered, and the laughter of the men responsible stopped abruptly. She stood frozen, her tiny hands clutching the ripped fabric against her chest, trembling as shock and humiliation surged through her. Her eyes darted around the diner, silently pleading for someone, anyone, to intervene. The other patrons shuffled uncomfortably, exchanging glances, unsure if they should step forward. The men who had torn her shirt laughed cruelly, oblivious to the storm they had provoked. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Tell me where you're watching from, the narrator urged, drawing viewers deep into the tension, making them feel the unease in the room. Her lips quivered as tears threatened to spill. The fabric, once whole and comforting, now hung in tatters. The diner, usually a safe place of warmth and ordinary routines, had transformed into a stage of fear and injustice. The sunlight glinted off the polished tables and utensils, highlighting the contrast between the calm surroundings and the girl's trembling form. The air felt thick, heavy with anticipation, as if the room itself was holding its breath. Outside, the distant growl of motorcycles began to rise, soft at first, then growing louder with each passing second. The vibration of engines hummed through the walls, and the patrons turned instinctively toward the entrance. A sense of unease mixed with awe spread through the room. The doors swung open, revealing a group of imposing figures, silhouettes etched against the bright morning sun. Leather jackets, chrome bikes, and an aura of calm authority marked their presence. The Hells Angels had arrived. Their steps were measured, deliberate, and unhurried, yet every movement commanded attention. The girl's brother, tall and calm, moved toward her. His eyes locked on the men who had caused this humiliation, steady and unflinching. There was no shouting, no immediate display of aggression, yet the room shifted under his presence. The men who had thought themselves untouchable froze, their bravado melting under the weight of respect and quiet authority. He knelt beside his sister, brushing a strand of hair from her tear-streaked face. "It's okay," he whispered, a soft yet powerful reassurance. The words, though gentle, carried the weight of protection and unwavering loyalty. Around them, the atmosphere began to transform. The tension that had gripped the diner eased, replaced by a subtle understanding. True strength does not always announce itself with noise or fury. Sometimes it arrives quietly, deliberately, and the mere presence of righteousness can command respect. The girl straightened slightly, her small frame regaining a fraction of its dignity. The fear in her eyes slowly gave way to relief, a spark of courage igniting within her. She realized she was not alone, that she was protected by someone whose strength was calm, controlled, and unwavering. The Hells Angels did not need to raise a fist. Their silent stance, their measured gaze, and the undeniable loyalty of the brother standing beside her were enough to restore order and respect. The men who had laughed moments ago now recoiled under the quiet authority of justice. Every gesture of intimidation they had used dissolved under the sheer presence of moral courage. The diner, once a place of ordinary mornings, became a theater where respect, humility, and protection took center stage. It was a lesson in the power of restraint and the dignity that comes from standing for those who cannot stand for themselves. Outside, the sun cast long shadows across the motorcycles as the girl and her brother prepared to leave. The engine's growl was steady and measured, a reflection of the calm power they embodied. Patrons watched silently, absorbing the weight of the lesson that had just unfolded. The girl's eyes, once filled with fear, now shone with quiet awe. She understood, in a way that words could not capture, the protective force of family and loyalty. The moment lingered in the room long after they departed. It was not violence that had taught the lesson, but dignity, calm presence, and unwavering moral clarity. True strength, the story whispered, is not measured by aggression or noise, but by the courage to act in protection of those who are vulnerable, by the ability to restore balance without chaos, and by the quiet authority of one who stands firmly for what is right. Life often presents moments of injustice, moments when fear and humiliation threaten to overwhelm. But even in the smallest, most fragile moments, the right presence can turn despair into safety. Courage, loyalty, and compassion sometimes arrive quietly, yet leave an enduring impact that resonates long after the moment has passed. The girl walked out of the diner with her brother, the sunlight catching the chrome of the motorcycles behind them, illuminating not only the street but the enduring truth that protection, kindness, and moral strength are timeless virtues. In the silence that followed, a quiet reflection settled over the patrons. Small acts of courage, rooted in love and loyalty, can transform even the most vulnerable moments into lessons of dignity. The rip in her shirt was no longer just an act of cruelty. It had become the catalyst for understanding, empathy, and a profound reminder that protection and care often speak louder than words or violence. Like, share and subscribe to Kindness Valley if you believe one small act of goodness can change the world. And don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe for more real stories of kindness and hope.